Okay, excellent. Hi, thanks for coming, everyone. Thanks to those of you who are here with me during the showcase, and hello to those of you who are watching this recording. I am so glad that you're participating in this showcase. I love the fact that Career Development does this event. I think it's fantastic. So I am the director of the International Education Center. My name is Erica Puccio. I use she, her pronouns. And I'm super excited to share information with you today about the International Education Center. And I'm going to turn my video off and start a slideshow. So just bear with me for 1 second. So could I just get like a thumbs up from someone so I could see, make sure that you guys can see the slideshow? Like a thumbs up, and awesome. Thank you, Angie. Okay, great. So again, this is the IEC, and super psyched to be here to talk to you guys about our office and what we do. So a little overview about what I'm going to do today. I'm going to, again, give you an overview of our office and the services that we provide. And then I'm going to talk to you about our global mentor and other positions that we have, what we're looking for, what you'll get out of working with us, and how to apply. There will be time at the end for questions. If you're watching as a recording, you can always email us. Our address is international@massart.edu, and that's going to be on like the last screen of this slideshow, so you can always come back to that. So we are a staff of 4. So I am the director, as I mentioned. We have 2 international student advisors, Maggie and Jean Marie, and then we have 1 study abroad advisor. Even though we're not an academic department, like we're not a major, obviously, we are based out of academic affairs. We are located on the 8th floor of Tower, and like most MassArt offices, we're open Monday through Friday. We're available to meet with students in person. You can always email us, call us, or we're happy to set up Zoom meetings as well. We share a suite with CACP, if you're familiar with where they are, and I'm actually going to come back to that later in the presentation. So in addition to our administrative staff, we have several student assistants, all of which I'm going to talk about in this presentation. So just in summary, we have our global mentors. Those are part of the leadership process. We typically have a graduate assistant who is a current MassArt student in one of our graduate programs. We have a radical welcomer, and that's an administrative position that's shared with CACP, our suite mate. The positions are perfect for students who are excited about sharing with others the places you've traveled, students who are interested in helping others adjust to life at MassArt, students who understand what it's like to adjust to life in a new culture, and students who want to make friends from all over the world. So next, I'm going to give you a brief and very broad overview of how we support international students and students who want to study abroad. Okay, there are 3 types of study abroad programs available for MassArt students, and I can't help but plug them, even though that's not the focus of this presentation. If you want to study abroad, because this is a very broad overview, please contact us, international@massart.edu. So the first option is a faculty-led travel course. It's a 3-credit semester-long MassArt class with a trip that's about 2 weeks long. It's a really good option for students who can't get away for a full semester. The classes are taught by MassArt faculty from different departments. You don't have to be in that department to enroll, and they change every year. Just a couple of examples are a history of art trip to Italy, a fashion design trip to Laos, and a co-taught illustration and communication design trip to England. The second option is semester abroad. That provides full immersion experiences where students live abroad for a semester at one of our exchange partner institutions or through an approved organization that runs study abroad programs. So just a few examples of those are, we have programs with art schools in England, Scotland, Japan, Korea, Australia, and across the US and Canada. And the third option is summer abroad. It's another one that allows Mass Art students to study for a short time abroad during the summer if you can't get away for a full semester. And one other note, that all of our study abroad programs have some cost associated with them. Like even if you're on an exchange where tuition is paid to Mass Art, you still have to fly where you're going. A lot of our students have won scholarships, some from Mass Art, some from external organizations, to make the programs more affordable. So please don't automatically think that study abroad is not cost effective, because you can make it work. So international student support is our other main responsibility. Mass Art sponsors a particular kind of international student on what's called an F1 visa, and they're here in F1 immigration status. We work with the admissions office to help students obtain the visa and then support them through their program at Mass Art. We advise them on benefits and responsibilities of their status as F1 international students. For example, these students are required to remain enrolled full-time while they're here, and they can't just take an off-campus job working at Starbucks, for example, to make extra money. But that being said, we run programming to make sure they know the benefits of being an F1 student. For example, even though they can't get a job at Starbucks, they can work on campus and they can get paid internships off campus related to their major during the semester or in the summer, and also work with authorization after graduation. So we advise them on how to do all that. And that is for undergraduate and graduate students. We also welcome exchange students here for a semester, which is the counterpart to our students who are going on an exchange semester abroad. And we support them during their stay at Mass Art as well. Excuse me. We run programming for all international students, and then programming that is open to the entire Mass Art community. Past events have included dinners, both on campus and off. We've had events in residence halls, Valentine's Day card decorating, Lunar New Year bingo, cultural night, and the Away Show. We co-sponsored a panel series with JET and Alumni Relations, with international student alumni talking about their experiences with immigration and with race in the workplace after graduation. And their perspectives, the perspectives that they shared, were really interesting. So we partner with other offices quite a bit. Okay, now let's move on to the roles and responsibilities of the global mentor positions, one of the jobs within our office. We have 4 positions, and there's a lot of overlap in the 4 positions. So some responsibilities may be more focused on supporting and promoting study abroad, and others on supporting international students. So generally for our global mentors, the hours per week are flexible and mostly project-based, though we're working towards having some in-office hours to help structure the work a little bit more. And then you'll find that some times of the year are busier than others. To be perfectly honest, it's a good way to have some responsibilities and gain leadership experience and bring in some extra money while having the flexibility to focus on your studies and your art making. The job is actually just a total of approximately 40 hours of work per year. I currently have a budget that comes to about $600 for the year for the work you do for our office. Although I think I might be able to beef that up a little bit so that we can give our global mentors more hours, and then they can do more work for us. So it's mutually beneficial. We hire both US citizens and international students for these positions. So we actively encourage international students to apply, especially because of the unique perspectives you can bring to the position of global mentor. Typically, we also hire one summer student leader to help with our virtual orientation sessions and prepare for in-person orientation, which happens during new student orientation in the fall. So here's some examples of how global mentors support international students. They design an introductory bio sheet and share it with new incoming students with photos and a blurb about yourselves. The summer Global Mentor attends virtual sessions. We hold 3 of them to provide a student's perspective to international and incoming international students. They actively participate in both fall and spring orientations. They serve as a mentor to incoming and current international students at MassArt for the entire academic year, providing encouragement and offering a welcoming environment. They might promote MassArt, COF, ProArts, or Boston area events, set up regular meetups for international students, and also just regularly remind students that they're a resource for them. Global mentors also help the IEC generate interest in study abroad. They act as an advocate for off-campus study in a variety of ways, such as participating at IEC events and info sessions like study abroad fairs, exchange student welcome, and farewell events. They also help staff tables to promote study abroad at non-IEC sponsored events where we were invited to have a table, like the resource fair at orientation, the student involvement fair. We've been at the major fair and admitted student days. And I want to say, like, we have had global mentors who have studied abroad and also global mentors who have not studied abroad who staff our tables. So you just need to be excited to learn more about what we do and promote it. We also look for help generating content for social media and print material. And global mentors might think about creating and leading an information sharing event. Like, we've had students work with within a pre-established network, like a major department or a residence hall where they're living, to do a presentation on the floor. But it could also be other things that are geared towards the whole community. All of the global mentors organize the Fall Away show, which exhibits different cultures. Celebrates different cultures in the Student Life Gallery. This takes place during International Education Week, which is a national event celebrated the 3rd week of November every year. We already have a really detailed timeline and task list passed on from previous global mentors that outlines the entire process from start to finish. And it's a great thing to have on your resume. And, you know, it's also great because it's really already laid out for you. So it's a really cool experience. Global mentors organize or support programming and events throughout the year, such as the International Student Meet and Greet, International Student Dinners, and IEC info tables, and also help with if there's for example, a spring cultural night, which could be in conjunction with SGA or the affinity groups out of JET. And that event is really fun when it does happen. I don't know if any of you went. It's a big food fest and there's often dancing. So it's really, really fun. Okay, global mentors do not need study abroad experience, as I mentioned, nor do you need to be an international student to apply. We're looking for students with a love of and passion for cross-cultural learning and international travel, and these basic qualifications. So someone with a little experience navigating cross-cultural situations, someone with empathy and understanding of those going through or thinking about going through an experience that requires cultural adjustment, excellent communication and interpersonal skills, organizational and event planning ability, initiative, enthusiasm, and new ideas for the role of global mentor. We really always welcome new thoughts and ideas to get students excited about global experiences or new ways to support international students. Our global mentors are students, so you guys are the ones who know what our students are looking for, so we are always open to new ideas. Okay, what will you learn? Students can take this away from being a global mentor. Demonstrated intercultural sensitivity and awareness for interaction with various individuals and groups, the ability to design and plan meaningful programs and events, and the skills like pre-event logistical planning, marketing and advertising, presentation skills, and post-event evaluation, heightened intercultural sensitivity and awareness, and increased cross-cultural communication. The global mentor position is a great jumping off point to other leadership positions in different offices around campus. And our global mentors have held multiple leadership positions and won leadership awards. And we've also had students do multiple years as a global mentor. And we love that because we love having continuity. And also the continuing global mentors can help the new global mentors who are in their first year. So they do a little double mentoring. And sometimes they've often gotten ideas in their first year as a global mentor after kind of witnessing the role for a year that they then can implement when they do their second year as a global mentor. So that's kind of fun too. We've had global mentors go on to lead SGA organizations. And we also hope it might lead to study abroad experiences. Some of our past global mentors, both international students and domestic students, have participated in 1, 2, and even 3 or 4 study abroad experiences, semester and short term. So it's kind of a great way to get more involved with what our office does. So the Global Mentor position is currently part of the leadership process run by the Student Engagement Office. Applications are available in December. The process runs in February. Hiring is complete before spring break for positions that start in the following academic year. So keep an eye out for an announcement about that later in the fall semester, but feel free to reach out with questions before then. Okay, so we have a relatively new shared position with CACP, that's the Center for Art and Community Partnerships, called the Radical Welcomer / Office Assistant position. It's not a leadership position. It does not follow the timeline that I just mentioned. We usually hire students early in the fall. I think there are a couple of spots, positions available. We have a lot of students who are returning. I don't manage that position. I don't oversee it. Someone in CACP does. So you might want to attend or watch later the CACP Student Employment Showcase video to learn more. But basically, we share a suite. So we share this position that serves to welcome visitors to the suite and do administrative projects as needed for both departments. Typically, students work about 8 hours a week. And usually the position is listed on the student positions section of the Work at MassArt area of massart.edu. So it's usually, there's a link for student positions. So I suggest if you are interested, check out the HR website or contact us or CACP and we'll get you to the right place. We also typically have one administrative graduate assistant position. It's not a TA-ship, it's a grad assistant on the administrative side. If it's approved, it's posted through the grad programs list. And what we need help with depends on the time of year, as well as the expertise of the grad assistant we hire. So past responsibilities include planning and running orientation icebreakers, researching a mentorship program, like a really one-to-one student program, which we haven't implemented yet, running our Instagram account, overseeing global mentors doing the away show, making a video for incoming students about Boston and Mass Art, creating content for cultural adjustment and more. So really all sorts of different things. So again, that would be advertised through the grad programs, graduate assistantship program. And that's it. So thank you for joining us. For those who are here, I'm going to stop the slideshow and open it up to questions. If you're viewing this as a recording later, the best way to reach us with questions is international@massart.edu. And thanks so much. Hope to see you guys in the next application leadership cycle. So I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to keep the recording going. I'm going to turn on my video, excuse me. And we have about 10 minutes for questions if anyone has any questions for me. So good question. Are the Radical Welcomer and Global Mentor positions open for grad students? So the Global Mentor position, because it's a leadership position, it's really for undergraduate students only. That's what that program is for. The Radical Welcomer position, that is a good question. I don't know if we've even had that conversation with CACP. So reach out to me and I will get back to you on that one. And if anyone else who's watching this is wondering what the answer is, you can reach out to us also and I'll get back to you. Thank you.